Welcome back, my friends. Merry Christmas to all of those who celebrated Christmas. All the very best to everybody else. There's a new year coming up. I wish that it brings all the very best to everyone, regardless of their religion, their race, their color, their sex, and all these so-called differences. Let us all remember that the most important thing that unites us all is that we are all human beings, that we all feel the same, and that we are united. We are all brothers and sisters ultimately. Today I'd like to talk about something very important to me. It has manifested in my life throughout the years. And I think it reflects what happens when you live your truth. Yes, you live your truth. And also how it is related to this notion of manifestation. I'm talking about synchronicity. So synchronicity is when things happen that look like they came out of nowhere. Yeah, events, you meet people, things happen that seemingly you had no obvious effect. You were not the reason. You're not the obvious reason that these things happened, that you met these people, that you crossed paths with people, that they came out of nowhere. But at the same time, you were looking for something like this. It's like you attract these events in a way. You don't see how, but they just seem to happen, and they just seem to provide you with what you were looking for. Yeah, money, events, friends, people, love, whatever it might be. I don't know how we manage, but every time we do a video, there's either the bills or the church going on, or I don't know what. Anyway. So, synchronicity. I'd like to talk to you about something that happened to me. One of many things, but one that is it sort of stuck in my mind and had a great effect. It changed my life ever since. So, at the time I was living in Australia, and I was always looking for I always had a great interest in the supernatural, the so-called supernatural, the metaphysical. And what happened was I was looking for something, for people, for a person, for something. It wasn't very easy to find something that suited me. I had no inclination to the Eastern traditions, as in yoga or Buddhism. However, I did have, at the time, I had some friends who introduced me to certain writers and the tradition of esoteric Christianity. However, all my knowledge was coming from books. And as we all know, yes, there is value in reading and learning things, but there's also an extra, that knowledge that comes from experience, yeah, and that evolution that can only come from experience. And so while I was reading and practicing from a book certain meditations and exercises for esoteric Christianity, and well, there comes a time where I finish. Okay, well, what's next now? There's nothing here. There's no one. There's nothing. And I decided to, well, let me backtrack a little bit here. The books I was reading on esoteric Christianity, they were written by a great teacher who originated from Cyprus and had passed away some time ago. So I thought, okay, Reiki. Let's see if that has something to offer. And I was living in Sydney at the time. And what happened is, as I was looking up for Reiki courses, so many Reiki courses, to go and become a Reiki healer and teacher and all that sort of thing. And I just picked this lady for whatever reason. And we talked over the phone, and we agreed that I'll go. She used to teach and heal from her place. So I went to her place to talk and become initiated as a Reiki 1 level. And as I walk in, her living room, I see she had the photo of the teacher whose books I was reading about esoteric Christianity. Now, let me tell you, this is so rare in Australia because, to my knowledge, to this day, there aren't many people, and probably even less circles, that study and practice esoteric Christianity in Australia. So it happened that I picked up probably the only Reiki teacher who was also practicing esoteric Christianity under the guidance of the teacher whose books I had read and who had passed away some years ago. Now, my Reiki teacher had met this teacher of esoteric Christianity in Cyprus while he was still alive. So she knew him personally. And so I thought, hang on, what is going on here? What is this? This is freaky. What is going on? And I talked to her about it. I talked to her, I revealed to her what was going on and what I was doing. And yep, everything else is history from then onwards. It has changed my life for the better. Yep, if it wasn't for these teachings and these practices, I would not be the person I am today. I would not have been able to work through the very big challenges that I have faced over the past 25 years or so. So it's something that has been engraved in my mind and my heart as how this came to be. So this event of so-called synchronicity, I was looking for something and I didn't know, I couldn't find it. And so I picked the only person who not only initiated me to become a master teacher in Reiki, but with whom also I have been initiated into the teachings and practices of esoteric Christianity. And here we are. Now, this is synchronicity. But how did it come to be? It came to be, I believe, because I was very truthful. I was trying to live my truth. I always had that desire, but I also think it agreed with my life's purpose, with my path. And so when you live your truth, when you walk your path, life, God, the divine, whatever you want to call it, will bring to you what you need when you're ready. And this happens in every area of our lives. I'm sure those who listen to this video, who watch this video, will have their own experiences of similar events. Understand that nothing is by chance. And these so-called events of synchronicity serve a purpose. Events, people, what do they have to teach us? How do they help us? Why have they come into our lives for? In essence, I believe also synchronicity is a form, in essence, of manifestation. We are manifesting, we are attracting that which we need, that which we are, our truth. Again, we might be manifesting things, events, people that will help us with our evolution, lessons that we need to learn. But it is all part of our truth, of our journey. So synchronicity and manifestation are related, yes? So when we want to manifest, with what do we need to be in synchronicity with? Let's turn it around. Yes? When we want to manifest something into our lives, with what do we need to be in synchronicity with? Our truth, love, belief, certainty, peace, no ego. Yeah. As you can see, these things are multi-level. They are related, but it's not a one-way relation. Yeah, it's both ways. We can see how through synchronicity we manifested, but how we also manifested, and we can manifest through synchronicity. So, this was just one event in my life. Like I said, I'm sure everybody has their own experiences. Hopefully this has provided some sort of explanation. However, I have talked about the esoteric Christianity practices, and this has to do with certain meditations and exercises. We have provided in the past some of them, but I think it's time to provide a couple of more. Theory is all good and nice. It's the practice that makes the difference. Yeah, there's no purpose in knowing things, but then we ignore the things and the truths we know, and we don't put them into practice in our lives to change these lives for the better. So it is important that we practice these truths. And these meditations and exercises can help us do that. And it can help us, they provide us with a better understanding of who we are and what we need to do and how to do it. Now I'm talking about esoteric Christianity because this is the tradition that I follow. Okay, but that doesn't mean that this only happens in esoteric Christianity. Every tradition, every religion in its core has the same truths and practices. Perhaps they see, because there might be one truth, but truth is multifaceted. It's like a multifaceted diamond. Some of us may see these facets of truth of the diamond. Other of us might see these facets of this multifaceted diamond we call truth. Doesn't mean that one is wrong and one is right. So if you don't follow esoteric Christianity and you follow some other tradition, look deeper and discover these practices. Now remember, there's only one guide in all of these practices: love. We all love each other regardless of what religious practice we follow. Again, I'm not going to repeat myself. So if there's some sort of so-called practice that says we are better than the other, or we are correct and everybody else is wrong, or whatever, in this sort of wavelength, I would say that probably is not the best tradition to follow. We each follow our own path. We each have to follow our own evolution. And we each choose the path that we're going to do so, as long as we don't harm ourselves or any other human beings. It's very simple. So in the next video or so, maybe more, I think we might provide some exercises and meditations that I think are very, very important. And they can change our lives. They certainly have changed mine. Until then, I wish you all the very best, my friends. Be good, live your truth, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.